Blythe here from Cut the Fat podcast. I hope some of you are tuning in because this is really an extra special kind of fun thing that I have literally just discovered. My daughter ordered what's called a sushi bazooka, and although it's not the most made of the most quality plastic, it is a great little tool to have in your kitchen if you like to eat sushi. So I don't know if you guys can see here, but I've got some crab meat, some carrots that I have sliced very thinly, some fresh sliced avocado, and some very thin cucumber strips. Oh, I almost forgot the sriracha. I'll be putting that on top. And if you like some light soy sauce to go with it, that would be another thing to have. So the sushi bazooka is made up of 4 pieces. It's 2 little pieces that go together like this to create your sushi roll. It has a lid that goes on the bottom, or a cap that goes on the bottom, and it has a little plunger. So it's very, very simple to use, really easy to figure out if you're someone who has, excuse me, difficulty putting things together. Very, very easy to use. What I've done is I took a little bit of coconut oil on a paper towel, and I have already placed it as the directions say you should. I've placed it inside the canister where I'm going to be placing the rice. Something really important to have on hand is a bowl of water, because you're going to be using that for your fingers and for the knife when you go to cut the sushi roll. And I've also got a cup of rice here. Now I'm just going to be making 1 sushi roll. We made them last night as a little experiment, and it actually turned out amazing. I mean, this is an actual sushi roll that we made. So my daughter experimented and told me all about it, so I'm going to give it a go. So all we have to do is get your fingers a little bit wet. You're going to grab some of the rice, and it's going to go directly into the little canister. I'm going to move my sushi paper for just a moment. Hi, Betty. Hope you're having a great day, or great evening. It's probably evening in New Zealand now, isn't it? All right, so I'm just packing the sushi in. And it takes probably a try or 2 to figure out exactly how much rice you need. But the goal is to fill the little canister here almost full, and then you're going to press a divot into it. Oh, it's 8 a.m. on Tuesday. Hi, Betty. It's Monday at about lunchtime here. Okay, so I've got one side halfway full, and I'll show you how to create that divot here in just a minute. Again, having water on hand is absolutely imperative for this. Now, I pre-cooked my rice, just, you know, so you guys didn't have to sit here for 15 minutes and watch me cook rice. But I let it cool down to room temperature. It's a little easier to handle than cold rice. However, you could, you know, make your rice ahead of time and then put it in the refrigerator and then just let it sit out while you chop up your vegetables. The most time-consuming part of this whole thing is chopping up your veggies. And you can use anything you want. I'm just making a California roll because those are the ingredients that I had. And you can really put in it whatever you want. The goal, or the objective, is to make sure that you slice your veggies thinly, because if you don't make them thin enough, they're going to be hard to put in. So I'm going to take my little plunger and I'm going to line it up with the thread down here, if you can see that, just so I can press a little divot down into the rice. And you've got to make sure those threads are lined up, because you don't want to overfill it. If you overfill it, you'll have difficulty. I'm going to add a little more rice to this one. You'll have difficulty fitting your goodies inside. So I cooked the rice. I boiled jasmine rice, cooked it for, let's see, until it came to a boil. And then I turned it all the way to low. I have a gas stove, so I'm very fortunate. I can just leave it on low, and it boiled, or it simmered for about 7 minutes. And I poured a tablespoon of rice wine vinegar on top of it, because that's what it suggested in the sushi bazooka instructions. Just gonna pack this down one more time. Okay, so I've got my rice, little troughs of rice, I guess we could say. And it's a little bit messy here. I'm going to add in some cucumber. Feel free to say hi, guys, if you're tuning in and watching. putting some cucumber, and I'm gonna put the same veggies on both sides. So I'll put a line of cucumber here, and I'll do a line of cucumber over on this side. Something I haven't mentioned yet is you will need to find some roasted seaweed papers, and this is the brand, I don't know if you can see that, this is the brand I found yesterday, or my daughter and I found yesterday. I'm gonna put some carrots in here. I always thought at-home sushi could never achieve like the freshness and deliciousness of store-bought sushi or restaurant-bought sushi, but this is really good, you guys. So I cooked the rice. I'm now adding the avocado. I cooked the rice. I added a tablespoon of rice wine vinegar. Last night we tried making the sushi without the rice wine vinegar, and I'll tell you, the rice just didn't have like the tang that you wanted. Just almost like a really fresh taste. So I think it's important to add the rice wine vinegar, which I did today. As you can see, I'm kind of overstuffing everything here. But that's not going to matter here in just a moment. You just can't get crazy with the filling. Okay, so I'm adding my crab meat now to both sides. And it helps to kind of mash things up and just really flatten it down as much as possible, because in a second here, we're going to be closing this up. Okay, so let me just dry my hands off. I've got my 2 little troughs full of all the ingredients that we want. And this is kind of like a hurry up 1, 2, 3 thing. So I've got to line up my little plunger with the threads here. Oops. Like I said, this isn't the most quality plastic because it doesn't really, I wish the hinges were a little tighter for this thing, but it does work. Okay, so I've got everything together here. It helps if you have an extra set of hands, which I don't here today. But I'm going to leave the plunger there. I'm going to close up this roll, squeeze everything together. Oop, I've got some food sticking out the side. Latch it closed. Got everything in there. Make sure it snaps closed, because if it doesn't, you are going to have some issues. Oops. Make sure you put the cap on the end before you start. Sorry, guys. Make sure you put the cap on the end before you start plunging. This is going to compact everything. It takes about, I don't know, I think it says 5 to 7 twists or whatever, but you'll kind of feel once you have compacted everything. Got all my sushi in there. I can feel that I've kind of hit the bottom. It becomes firm. We are going to grab the sushi paper or the seaweed paper. There are 2 sides to the seaweed paper. There is like a textured side. You can see the lines on this side, and then there is a shiny side. I can see the lines through in this light, but the shiny side is what goes down. And make sure, if you're using a little bamboo mat, which they do provide you with in the kit that we purchased. Hi, Buckley. So we are putting this on the bamboo mat, and I am just going to take the cap off. I hope this turns out since I'm doing this live. Look, it's a sushi roll. So we're gonna lay it, I'm just gonna literally plunge it out onto the seaweed paper. I am not proclaiming to be a sushi chef. It is not perfect. Oop, drug out a piece of cucumber there, that's okay. And all we're going to do is, oh no, it's falling apart. We need to roll up the sushi paper. Now the easiest way to do this, and I actually, if you can see here, I missed a little bit of the paper, so I'm just gonna cut that piece off and push it to the side. You need to have some water here. The water is going to help kind of make the sushi paper sticky. And this is where the bamboo little mat comes in. So you want to make this as tightly packed as possible. I have not yet rolled it completely up, but I did wet the edge of the seaweed paper, and we're just going to roll it as tightly as possible, and you kind of pull it back as you roll. Good, nice and tight. Kind of smash everything together, unroll it, and what you'll want to do now is, oops, I've got stuff coming out the edge. This isn't my best one, but it is my second one. So there's always room for improvement. It's not the most beautiful, but it is working. So we've got our sushi roll here, and I'm just gonna take some water and run it over the top of the paper. Again, having a bowl of water on hand is imperative for this because the rice, whether or not you made sticky rice on purpose, the rice does stick to your fingers. And I think the rice wine vinegar actually helps make it a little less sticky. Okay, so we actually have a beautiful, beautiful sushi roll here. Made one last night. The seaweed paper absorbs some of the moisture from the rice, so what ends up happening is the sushi paper goes from crunchy, which is what we have here, to a softer feel, just like you find at the sushi restaurants. Okay, so you're gonna wanna wet your knife, and probably should place this on my cutting board here, and just cut the end of that off. You can eat that and try your sushi, see how it turns out. I would say the best thing to do is probably roll it back up in the bamboo mat, and place it in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes. And guys, you're gonna have some amazing sushi. So when you go to cut this, after it's been refrigerated, and this is why I have our little sample roll here. I actually think I have enough rice and chopped up veggies to make a second roll. But you need to wet your knife. So I'm just literally dipping my fingers in and wiping the knife off, just because any sticky rice that gets on there will drag when you cut through the roll. So this is the one we made last night. It's been in the refrigerator overnight. I did wrap it in saran wrap just to keep everything nice and fresh. But what we're gonna do is just lightly, with a sharp knife, cut right through. I get about 2 cuts with the wet knife, and then it's time to re-wet. Here we go. This is a fun little appetizer to serve if you have company coming over, or if you want to prepare something for your special someone or a friend that's coming over. It's actually really simple to do. And I'm very proud of my aunt because she is the one that started this in our family. She ordered a sushi bazooka and she was like, you wouldn't believe how easy it is. All right, a couple more slices here, guys, and we are done. Feel free, if you guys try this, the sushi bazooka kit, which I have no affiliation with, it's just something that we ordered off Amazon, was $10, and it's something that you can keep forever. Look at this cute little sushi roll. It's adorable. I hope you guys try it and eat it. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.